I'm Dave.
I'm Amy. A few months ago, we were planning a vacation and decided to go to West Virginia to go hiking in the mountains because I love the mountains. And then I was telling a friend about it, and she said, "Well, you should go to Hatfield McCoy Trails." And we didn't know what that was. So we started looking into it and ended up in a project.
Turns out there's a lot of trails. Like, there's just not trails that you go and hike. I mean, you can, but there's a lot of them. So while we're doing our research, there's a lot of people that use side-by-sides, four-wheelers, dirt bikes. Some trails will take Jeeps and off-road vehicles and all this and that. Well, we have a Jeep. We're not interested in taking that off-road. Don't have a four-wheeler anymore, so the side-by-sides look to be our thing. That way, if we got tired, we needed to carry stuff, just a lot easier. For lazy people, right? Not so much. So there's a lot that goes into side-by-side riding. And so we were like, hey, we could take the travel trailer to the campground and we could rent a side-by-side. So we do a bunch of research on how much does it cost, where do you rent, everything, campgrounds, all down to everything. So it comes out to be what?
$500 a day.
$500 a day just to rent a side-by-side. So start doing the math. You know, it's going to be expensive, but to alter that, we don't have to get a cabin because we have a travel trailer. So now we know we're just going to have to look for a campground. So we start looking into, that's a lot of money, but if we do this a lot during the year, we could probably own one. And we do have a place to ride one, so we start doing our research on side-by-sides. And there are so many different ones and price brackets and everything else. So then we decided, okay, if we end up buying one, then what? Then we're going to have to figure out a helmet. Well, there's lots of different helmets. I've ridden a motorcycle, four-wheeler. I'm fine with a full-face helmet. Doesn't really bother me. But
I don't like it.
Amy, on the other hand, not so much. So we start looking at different helmets, trying to figure out what's going to work the best. And then it's like, okay, so we've done that research. Now we got to find a campground. So then we start looking at different campgrounds. What do we need? We don't need anything fancy because we're not even going to be there. We're going to be riding the trails. So tons of campgrounds to choose from. We had to do that research. And then finally, okay, we've got all that set up. We're heading out. We get to West Virginia. We get to this really nice campground. And we just start looking around, doing a little bit of research about what if something happens? What if we break down? What if something breaks? What if we can't get off the trail? What if we get into an accident? At the end of our week, we actually got to see the outcome of an accident. Some riders brought a wrecked side-by-side in, and we're not with a group. We went by ourselves, so it was just the two of us. So we made sure that we had an outlet for that, whether it be towed, repaired, something. So then after all that's done, we hit the trails. Make sure you have your maps. Make sure you have something to drink and you've got basic tools, and it's just on and on and on. The list of everything, it's a rabbit hole that just keeps getting longer. So when you're on the trails, you gotta look for a place to eat, a place to get gas. A lot of your maps, they'll have that information on there. If they don't, there's just research you have to do. You have a driver, you have a passenger. Basically, the passenger's reading the map, doing the navigation, figuring out where you're going. And then, again, this is all new to us. This is something that we've never done before. And we come across this gas station to get gas, and there was a place to eat. And it was a nice place.
Yep.
Just, it's a place to eat and get gas. I mean, and these places don't care if you're dirty or muddy.
They're not fancy. They don't expect us to be either.
No, not at all. Which is great.
It's perfect for the trail.
So it's like you get something to eat, you get gas. There's other riders there with different types of machines and different sizes, and Some have windshields, some don't. Some have mirrors and winches and you name it. I mean, they're all different. So you can learn something from other machines. Um, so we get back out on the trail, and all day long you have to watch out for other riders because you are not the only people out there. They sell something like it was 80,000 permits a year or something like that at Hatfield McCoy. Um, it's a lot of people. It's a lot of permits. Now that includes out-of-staters and in-staters. So it's not just, there's a lot of in-state people. Now that doesn't include the outlaw trails. So there's outlaw trails that you don't have to have a permit for. So there's a ton of riders out there. I mean, there's lots of people, lots of places to stay, everything. So when you're on the trail, you're going to encounter other people. Just make sure that you're doing it safe. You're not flying through the trails because somebody can be coming the other way. These are two-way trails. They're not one-way trails. So
most of them are pretty narrow too.
yeah, yeah. So you gotta be cautious the whole time. And there's so much to see while you're out there. It's very difficult not to be distracted by looking at other things. Bears and all
snakes.
Everything, anything and everything is there. So our goal in doing these videos and putting this stuff up is we want to show you what it's like. We want to help you do all this research. We had tons and tons of hours and days, and we want to help with that. We want to be able to show you what it's like and that you can do this. You don't have to be 20 years old.
You don't have to have a $30,000 machine.
No.
You don't have to be 20 years old. You can just go out and have a good time.
Go out, have a good time, be safe. We want to put these videos out there so people can see what we're doing, how we do it, give us advice. Maybe we can give you advice. Someone who's looking to get into this sport and not sure where to go, what to do about lodging, what to do about camping, what to do about a unit. We want to be able to do videos on other people's machines. That way, people get to see different types, different things, and what people have done to them, what they like about them, what they don't like about them, because some people want a windshield, some people don't. Some of these have heaters, air conditioners. I mean, it's crazy how elaborate these things go. Stock seat belts, harnesses. We have a lot of videos that we want to do and answer as many questions as we can. So
there's a ton of topics.
So until then, this is what we're going to be doing and try to help you, and hopefully people can help us. So we're going to be uploading videos on YouTube and Facebook, and we'll be open to the comments. So until then, we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.